With Prime Minister Boris Johnson now describing no deal as a very, very likely outcome, and a wonderful one at that, where the UK will have the freedom to do as it sees fit outside of EU control. Perhaps the reality of no deal now setting in with the European Union, with the story today that Royal Navy vessels will be dispatched to Britain's territorial waters that we will have taken back control of as the result of no deal. Going to bring you all the very latest in this video, guys, but please start off as ever by hitting the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss future reports. Now, I'll start off with this rather dramatic Mail front page there. We'll send in gunboats, you may see, as no deal looms. UK's threat to protect fish. The Times with a similarly dramatic headline: Navy to board French boats and arrest fishermen after no deal Brexit. Patrols will target unlawful ships in the Channel. The Times reporting that the Royal Navy Police will be given the power to arrest French and other EU fishermen who illegally enter Britain's waters in the events of a no deal. And of course, I'm going to go into all of this, guys, but of course the real irony here is that it has been the French side, mainly, Macron and others, talking about a potential French veto. Well, this is the reality of no deal, of course. It's the UK taking back full control of our territorial waters. And there's, just to remind you, when it comes to other issues on the level playing field, for instance, there will be no EU rulebook in the case of no deal. We will have 100% control of our rules, of our laws, of our waters. Now, I still think that the EU side, after spending years with a Prime Minister in Theresa May, who pretty much capitulated at every turn, I think the EU are still pricing in a Boris Johnson sellout deal. Whether that happens or not, we'll have to see. But of course, Boris yesterday reaffirmed his belief that he thinks a no-deal Brexit will be wonderful. So when it comes to this story, this is the reality of taking back control when it comes to our waters. As the Mail put it, Britain will send in gunboats over Brexit. 4 Royal Navy vessels will guard UK fishing waters against French trawlers if there is no deal, as Macron refuses to give up his share of the cake, but PM says lack of red tape will be wonderful. The Mail report that armed with cannon and machine guns, vessels will patrol the English Channel and Irish Sea to stop illegal fishing. In a dramatic ratcheting up of no-deal contingency planning, Wildcat and Merlin helicopters are also being placed on standby to help with coastal surveillance, and military personnel have been seconded to the Joint Maritime Security Centre to help deal with any clashes in fishing grounds. The naval ships could even be ordered to impound rogue French fishing vessels. And of course, this is stark contrast, isn't it, to what the EU's idea of no deal is. We saw that ludicrous, bizarre, frankly, proposal that in the event of no deal, there'll be 12 months of what they describe as reciprocal access. I describe as the devastating status quo for the British fishing industry and our coastal communities. But for some reason, this doesn't seem to have gotten through to the French, because, as the Sun point out, President Macron sticking to his hardline stance and sniping. I'm not asking to have my cake and eat it. No, all I want is a cake that's worth its weight, because I won't give up my share of it either. Well, when it comes to no deal, there's going to be a radical difference in share, because the UK will have full control of our territorial waters. And of course, as well, we've seen reports that French President Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel are refusing to really engage even with Prime Minister Boris Johnson, with Tory Brexiteers accusing the EU of contemptuous treatment, and said that it shows Brussels doesn't consider the UK a sovereign equal. And of course, we had from the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen herself appearing to suggest that the UK taking back control of waters was an aspiration. Quote is saying, "We understand that the UK aspires to control its waters. The UK must, on the other hand, understand the legitimate expectations of EU fishing fleets built on decades and sometimes centuries of access." Well, I think the onus is on the EU side, actually, to have prepared their industry for the fact that they didn't want to do a sensible trade deal, for the fact they're going to be entitled to zero access to British waters. Downing Street hitting back and saying it was a fact that the UK would control its waters. after the transition period ended and is prepared to deploy the Navy to patrol its waters. Now, just into a bit more specifics on what this could look like, the Royal Navy has drawn up a range of enforcement measures, the Mail report, to protect the UK status as an independent coastal state. Its 4 vessels would be deployed when it gets feisty, government sources said. It's understood that the Navy is preparing to deploy 2 Batch 1 vessels and 2 Batch 2 vessels, which are almost 300 foot in length and weigh 2,000 tonnes. And a Navy source quoted as saying it's highly likely you'll see a couple of these at sea on New Year's Day. An insider adding that requests for assistance would come from other government departments, adding we will lean into support wherever required. And a government source saying they'll be able to support Border Force and step in when there are boats in our waters that are not compliant and not willing to exit. If there's a fishing vessel within 12 nautical miles that isn't willing to leave, that is when the Navy will step in. Now, someone who's supported this move is the former First Sea Lord, who has said at Portsmouth News Report that it's absolutely right that the Royal Navy protects British fishing waters after Brexit. Britain's former head of the Royal Navy has said it's absolutely right crews should patrol fishing waters after Brexit. The former First Sea Lord, Admiral Lord Alan West, told Portsmouth News, clearly if we become an independent country and there's no agreement with fish, we've got territorial seas and an exclusive economic zone that belongs to us, and if the government decides it doesn't want other nations to use that with no agreement, then the Navy is the force to enforce that. He added, it's absolutely right that we should do, it's right for the Navy to enforce that, we've always enforced that. So guys, this is the reality of no deal, this is reality of taking back full control. As I said, I still think the EU are stuck in the mentality of a big Boris Johnson sellout, U-turn, cave in, however you want to put it. Will that happen? Let me know if you think it will or not in the comments. But this is the reality of taking back control of our waters. Let me know what you make of this. Do you support this? Do you think there'll be a no deal? Do you still think there will be a deal? I want to know from you in the comments. And as ever, guys, if you enjoyed this report, if you found it helpful and informative, please hit the thumbs up. Would really appreciate that. And of course, you can support my work by hitting the join button down below. Check out the top link in the pinned comment to become a supporter/member of the channel. Would really appreciate your support. You get the supporters badge next to your name as well. And of course, guys, as ever, thank you so much for watching.